What's happening, y'all? So let me um let me just kind of recap what's been going on this this past few days. Um, it's been kind of crazy. Um, for those of you who've been following me, you notice that there's been some back and forth between me and some of the ADOS folks, and I'm gonna holler about it on Monday on my radio broadcast. But um, but I just wanted to holler at y'all, kind of give you some backdrop for those who are a little confused and want to know exactly what happened, what's going on, that kind of stuff. Um, I've never been an adversary or enemy, really, of anybody besides white supremacists and those who really mean no good to African American people, our culture, and our community. And even those I didn't agree with, I kind of stayed out their way, let them do their thing. I do my thing and call it a day. So I've seen the back and forth with ADOS and various persons that they've been having a problem with. No, King, I'm not gonna let the trolls get to me. Um, and I kind of stayed above the fray, stayed out of it. Um, and then, you know, the other day, I liked a tweet that Tariq Nasheed has pinned to his page, and basically it's a tweet where he's advertising his Foundational Black Americans Conference that's going to be held in June. I looked at it, I saw some of the speakers, and I put up 3 fire emojis. That's it. I liked it. I put up 3 fire emojis. Um, the next thing I know, I got ADOS folks talking smack. Calling me a grifter, etc. And I just responded back. I said, no, this ain't what you want. And I just figured that would be enough. That no, y'all really don't. Not me. I don't bother y'all. So this ain't what y'all want. This is this. That's all I said. This ain't what you want. And man, then came the onslaught. The onslaught of ADOS trolls. Hey Donna, how you doing? The onslaught of trolls, and I didn't think too much of it at first because I said, okay, there's some blow-bys, there's some of the trolls, so on and so forth. What got me was when the so-called founders, the so-called leaders, the so-called visionaries of the Twitter ADOS, I don't know what you want to call it, a movement or whatever you want to call it. When Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore jumped into the fray, you would figure as leaders that they would jump into the fray and be like, hey, you know what? This ain't that big of a deal. Y'all back off, leave Bishop alone. We got bigger fish to fry. We got better things to do, and call it a day. But that ain't what they did. It's not what they did. She jumps into the fray and starts talking smack and exacerbating stuff. And then Tone jumps into it, and I don't even know these people. I don't know them, other than what I've read and what I've seen online. I have no personal relationship with these people. Have never had a personal beef with them whatsoever. And so you would think that the first time that they decide that they want to interact with me, that maybe, it may be conciliatory, perhaps it may be on a scale where, you're not trying to beef or anything. But I probably should have known better based on what I've seen. Because, all I've seen of them is them going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth with people all day long, attacking everybody. Exactly, Donna. Attacking everybody. I mean, disrespecting elders. Dr. Cresswell. I mean, the list goes on in terms of the folks that they've decided that they wanted to challenge and disrespect, and so I should have known I wasn't special. that that I'm probably just one in the number for them to attack. So they came for it. Now, so I, of course, me, I'm a different kind of preacher than what y'all are probably used to. I'm a Nat Turner kind of preacher, okay? I'm going to speak my mind. I'm going to be forceful about what I believe, passionate about what I believe. I'm not backing down for nobody. I don't have any benefactors. I don't have no bosses that y'all can call to take stuff from me, to put me in my place. You can't call the manager on me. I'm a free black man. I do what I want. I say what I want, when I want, how I want, all that stuff. Exactly right. Yvette told me, explain myself for liking Tariq's tweet. Explain, not only did she say, explain yourself, she said, explain yourself now. Like she was my mama or something. And I'm like, this woman is crazy. I mean, my mother's name is Delois, and she don't talk to me like this. So let me explain myself. So, here's the thing. If you don't want no smoke, don't be lighting no fires. And that's exactly what happened. So she and Tone came with the fire, and they couldn't stand the smoke. Before you know it, they were blocking me and then talking smack behind a block. And then ever since then, all the ADOS little trolls have been coming my way. They've been coming my way. They've been searching the internet, trying to see what they could dig up on me to try to scandalize. Punk stuff. I mean, that little chump stuff that, if I can't win a debate intellectually, what I'm going to do is try to smear and slander someone. So they found a 25, actually it's older than 25 years. It's 31 years old. They found a case from 1989. 1989. A dispute I had with Spartan Brake and Muffler, a car repair shop that had worked on my car. We had a dispute over the work. I stopped payment on the check. They took me to court. In any case, I appealed the case and won the appeal. So they dug that up and then tried to switch the narrative to pretend like I was some kind of a dastardly criminal or something. Because people don't read. And so they tried to spread that around, which was a complete lie. Um, and try to do character assassination, because when all else fails, when you can't win a debate on the merits, then you resort to character assassination. Um, they've devolved even lower than that, to the point now where they're creating new accounts just to attack me. They're creating new accounts with dumb names like, Bishop's Tin Cup, Bishop's Upper Lip. And I'm sitting here saying to myself, these are grown people creating troll accounts so they could attack me. These are people who want you to believe that they're out there doing the work of justice and bringing reparations to black people and all that, but y'all sitting around making fake accounts so y'all can attack? I mean, you have got to be kidding me. I mean, it's absolutely insane. And then, when you say that they're trash, then they go ballistic. But what else do you call folks who do this kind of nonsense? What else are they? The behavior is trash. And so, of course, they tried to spin the narrative again to say, if I call them trash, then I'm calling all American descendants of slaves trash. Now, that would be crazy, because I'm an American descendant of slavery. My children are, my grandchildren are. My father is the grandson of slaves. My grandfather is the son of a slave. My great-grandfather was a slave. My great-great-grandfather was a slave. So you're trying to convince folk that when I call ADOS trash, I'm talking about everybody. That you can't spin that narrative that way, because I think everybody knows when I call them trash, I'm talking about the leaders of the ADOS movement, Tone and Yvette, and all their little attack dogs, attack minions that are on Twitter attacking black people. And the amazing thing is, they spend more time attacking black folk than they do white supremacists. And so we're not calling our lineage trash. We're calling them trash. The people who behave in a trashy way. The people who attack black people simply because they disagree with them. The people who have the nerve to disrespect Dr. Claude Anderson. They're trash. Absolutely. Absolutely trash. What else do you call them beside that? What else fits besides that? At the end of the day, the people who decide that they're going to attack Dr. Cresswell, and the list goes on about the various individuals that they, and see, there's something wrong with a mentality that if I have a conflict or a disagreement, then as opposed to either agreeing to disagree or perhaps having a contentious conversation and then moving on, that I'm just going to attack. I'm going to character attack. So before Yvette blocked me like a coward, of course, it's the same old, and here's the thing, y'all. I'm so used to the same old tired preacher jokes I mean, they're played out. They're played. So, of course, she went right to the pulpit pimp. Yeah, okay. Preacher pimps, pimp preachers, so on and so forth. Yawn. Yawn. Stop it. Stop it. I mean, really, that's the best you got is the pimp preacher stuff. Do y'all know how many times through the years we've heard that nonsense? It's played out. It's played out. First of all, 95% of black preachers are bivocational, which means they don't get the bulk of their support from the church because their churches are small or medium-sized churches who can't afford to pay them a full-time salary, so they have another vocation. Most of your black pastors work a regular job on top of pastoring. So they're the pastor and the teacher, the pastor and the firefighter, the pastor and the accountant. They ain't milking the church because the church can't afford to pay. That stuff y'all see on TV, preachers of LA and all that stuff with the preachers driving Bentleys and jets and stuff, that's few and far in between. That is less than 1% of all your churches. You think your average neighborhood preacher got a private jet? Come on, man, be serious. So, that whole pimp preacher stuff is played out. It's played out. So, of course, that's where she went with it. The pimp preacher, and then blocked. Antonio did the same thing, said some slick stuff, and then blocked. And ever since, all these trolls been coming out. So now they're attacking the NAACP because I'm president of the NAACP in my city. And my thing is this. You say what you want about the NAACP. At the end of the day, there's no civil rights organization that has done more to advance the cause of black people in America than the NAACP. Now, I've got my own issues and concerns with the NAACP. I've got my own concerns with the national NAACP in terms of its priority and what it does on behalf of black people. And I express that from the inside. So there's some very legitimate criticism of the NAACP, and I accept all legitimate criticism. But you're not going to be ADOS and try to compare no ADOS who has no track record of accomplishment whatsoever. You're not going to compare them with the NAACP. No. So they're trying to come after the NAACP, and then when I check them, they say, well, the NAACP is over 100 years old. I don't have to go back 100 years. I can talk about what we've done this past year. So then somebody said, well, ADOS is only 5 years old. So I said, here's what the NAACP did in its first 5 years. So can you compare what ADOS has done in its first 5 years with what happened with the NAACP in its first 5 years? Absolutely not. And I mean, I hate to have to go there, but they're the ones who want to take you there. Because once again, it's attack, 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 attack. All day long. So I said, the first 5 years of the NAACP, they successfully took Oklahoma to the Supreme Court and won that case around the grandfather clause. The grandfather clause, where we got that term from, they passed a law that said if your grandfather was eligible to vote in 1866, then you would not have to take a literacy test in order to vote. Now, of course, that only applied to white people because black folks' grandfathers were not eligible to vote in 1866. So black folks had to take a literacy test. Many of them couldn't read, couldn't write. So, of course, they failed literacy tests, so they couldn't vote. It was a way of disqualifying them to vote. NAACP took it to court and won in the Supreme Court. And this is we talking about, this is like 1910. They spearheaded the boycott of Birth of a Nation. This is the first 5 years. They put on the first mass demonstration in America, 10,000 people marching, protesting against lynching, 10,000 in 1910. Okay? They organized their national conference to advocate for civil rights. And by the time they got through with their first 5 years, they had over 90,000 members and 300 branches. So, you know, look, let's not go there. And I'm not talking about your historic victories like Brown versus the Board of Education or any of that. I can just go through things that have been done in the last year or so. But they're the ones who want to now compare the NAACP only because I'm a part of it with ADOS. This ain't what I wanted. This is what they wanted. And I told them this ain't what you want because I'm not these other dudes that you've been beefing with. I've got a real track record of advocacy. Okay? Real stuff. Okay? I changed things in my city for the better for black people. When we had a system where everyone was elected to the city council at large, and so we would have 8 white folks on the city council and maybe 1 black, and everyone was elected from the same area of town because white folks had higher concentration of voters, a medium age that was older, etc. And basically the votes of blacks were being diluted. And I was the lead plaintiff on a lawsuit filed against the city. 12 years fought until we changed the voting system so every ward would be represented, which meant predominantly black neighborhoods, predominantly Latino neighborhoods would be represented in our city government. And the city council that just took the oath of office earlier this month, predominantly black and Latino, a black city council president, a Latino vice president. This is because of us changing the system, and I was at the forefront of that. And that's just one small example. I can go on and give you concrete examples of how things that I have done have resulted in legislation being passed, policies being changed, okay? Lawsuits being won, things being done for the betterment of black people. I'm not a Twitter activist like ADOS. Y'all are Twitter warriors. Y'all are Twitter activists. Y'all think you've done something to advance the cause of black people because you talk smack on Twitter today. No, we don't change things for black people because we talk junk on Twitter. Stop it. So, I've got a 30-year track record that speaks for itself. So I'm not some Johnny come lately. I ain't somebody who is woke on social media. I'm not somebody who sends out a tweet and now I can feel good about what I did. I'm somebody who really has put in work. For real. Okay, boots on the ground, grassroots organizing. Done it. from voting rights to advocating on behalf of black women who have been abused, civic engagement. I've been in the prisons dealing with young black men, run programs out of my church, anti-gang initiatives, male mentoring programs, tutoring, after-school programs. We've provided programs to hire young people. I mean, the list goes on and on. Programs that provide financial literacy, programs that provide chronic disease management. This is stuff that I got going on right now. So you don't want to go there with me, ADOS, because I got a track record. This is what I do every day on behalf of black people. This is what I do all day, every day. My ministry and my work ain't just tweeting. Real work that I've been putting in. And I'll put that resume up against Tones, up against Yvette's, and every single one of y'all little trolls on Twitter. Any day. My stuff is real. All right? I'm not a Emmy-nominated producer. All right. Let me not get petty like that. But seriously, my stuff is for real. For real. Now, do me a favor, all right? I need y'all to subscribe, okay? I need y'all to subscribe, hit the like button, share, subscribe. I'm getting ready to get off, but check it out. I normally come on every Monday while I'm doing my my radio broadcast. I do my radio broadcast, spoken word radio broadcast, every Monday at 9 a.m. Now, I know some of y'all might be at work getting down like that, so I'm thinking about going to some other programs, maybe in the evening. Y'all tell me right now if y'all want me to do that. I'll add some stuff to the schedule and maybe produce another show or so on a weekly basis in the evening, just to holler at y'all. If that's something y'all want me to get down with, we can make it happen. All right. So do me a favor, subscribe, share, like, do all that stuff. All right, fam. Love y'all. I'm gonna holler at y'all again real soon. All right. Peace and blessings.